A few months ago, I put out a Tom Strat history video that left a lot of loose ends as there is simply not a lot of information out there about this specific guitar. Even though it seems to be largely overlooked, an argument could be made that this is one of the most important Nevermind era guitars. Recently, Nirvana guitar tech and someone I'm honored to call my friend, Earnie Bailey, reached out to me to say that he saw my Tom Strat history video and that there is more to the story that he wanted to share with me. So I'm extremely happy and excited to present a part 2 to the Tom Strat's history, with information courtesy of Earnie Bailey, who's given me permission to share this with all of you. When it comes to why this Strat got the peculiar Tom setup in the first place, Ernie had this to say. I never asked him about why the Tom mod appeared on the Strat, but the train of logic makes 2 stops on this. 1. He was anti-whammy bar. All of the univoxes and fenders had the bars removed and the bridges were commonly stabilized to eliminate movement. 2. It's visually odd, bordering on ridiculous, but achieved the goal so simply I would file this under Punk Rock Bullseye 101. I've seen some people claim that due to its unusual bridge setup, the Tom Strat could not stay in tune or intonate properly. I disagree with this theory, as in all the footage that we have of the Tom Strat, it seems to stay in tune just fine. Nonetheless, I presented this theory to Ernie and here's what he had to say about it. In photos, I can see the correct intonation pattern is present and shifted perhaps a 3/16 off center towards the tailpiece. While it's not precisely where it should be, it will still intonate or get close enough by historical standards. And I should add, this is common to see on guitars built in the 70s and later that employ this bridge type, based on whatever method they used to determine the bridge location. If the Tom did have an intonation or alignment problem, it's likely I would have relocated it before the 1992 Europe run, as it is an easy 15 to 30 minute procedure. I do have a vague memory of the 4 mounting screws being not present in the chrome ring, and it being only held in place by the pickup height adjustment screws. I personally love that bit about the chrome ring and its screws. Even after I put my history video out, I still had some people trying to tell me that the pickup ring is black. But no, now we even have more confirmation that yes, it was chrome, just as the pictures have always shown. And I personally never would have guessed that the 4 mounting screws were not present in the ring. That's a great note for anyone out there who has a Tom Strat build and they want it to be historically accurate. I ended my Tom Strat video by stating that other than these 2 photos, there's essentially nothing known about the Tom Strat's final form as it was in Europe in 1992. Let's cue the Ernie quote because he's about to change that. For the 92 rebuild, I used a right-handed black fender pickguard reversed, sanded and buffed out the matte finish from the backside. As the bevel was for right-handed, I also reversed the bevel for lefty orientation, which removed 1/8 of an inch around the perimeter of the pickguard. So, in what photos exist in its final black-on-black iteration, the pickguard looks oddly and noticeably shrunken. It was in such rough condition, I didn't expect it to survive the next thrashing, and was pulling parts from my junk bin to get it roadworthy. I believe it got gold Schaller tuners on the Kramer neck, and don't recall if the tuners were left-handed or what pickup went in it. I vaguely recall a Duncan distortion being installed in a Smasher, and this would be the first guess. There is a lot of great info right there, so let's take it one point at a time. To further add on to the already unorthodox setup, this is a right-handed pickguard that Ernie reversed and put a bunch of work in to make it fit. And gold tuners? Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, I can't seem to think of another Kurt guitar that had gold tuners. Fascinating tidbit to learn. We learned in the previous history video from Ernie that pre-Tom at the Nevermind sessions, this guitar had a Seymour Duncan 59N humbucker. So it seems like its status went from one of Kurt's main guitars in the fall of 1991 to an end-of-set smasher in mid-92 that perhaps had a Seymour Duncan distortion humbucker. I had a Duncan distortion installed in my Tom Strat build, so I love the validation that this is historically accurate to an extent. It has the August 1991 look, but the mid-1992 humbucker. I sent to my tech, Jeff, of Lomic Guitars, these pictures of my Tom Strat build and the Kramer neck on my Paradiso Vandalism Strat so he could create a mock-up of how the final Tom Strat might have looked based off Ernie's description and the Polaroid pictures that we have. By the way, Jeff is the one who put together my Tom Strat in the first place, so thank you, Jeff. This is what he came up with, and let me just say, this looks pretty cool. It's like a combination of the Tom Strat, Vandalism Strat, and K-Strat all in one. We sent this image directly to Ernie himself to get his opinion and to see if this is accurate. Ernie said, and I quote, "That looks perfect." So us here at Nirvana Guitars and Lomic Guitars are very excited and honored to present this visual representation of how the Tom Strat looked in Europe in 1992 before it got smashed for good. Huge, tremendous shout out to Earine Bailey for taking the time to share this insight with us. The fan community is so grateful for your kindness and openness. Thank you so much for sharing your memories and for giving us nerds so much to chew on. I am just the middleman in this entire equation, but I'm very proud to play a small role in helping shed some light on the little known story of the Tom Strat. Thank you so much for watching, and an extra special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nirvana Guitars, and check out my other Nirvana gear videos right here on YouTube.